All right, I think that might be the best we're getting. Oh. All right, how's it going, everyone? I designed and assembled my own circuit board, but as you can see, I made a lot of mistakes that I had to fix with patches. So I eventually got it working. It's this little board here that has multicolored lights, and you can program it to do what you want and has a couple GPIO pins. But I finally got the second version of these in, and today we're going to assemble those and go through the entire process. It's going to be pretty much just raw footage of showing you what it's like from start to finish assembling a circuit board that you made. I'm going to have all the parts here, and we're going to go through everything, even bringing it up until it runs for the first time. Then afterwards, I'm actually going to sell about 50 of these, or 60 of these boards through X or just my own personal website. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is actually tin up these USB-C pads here, because I found good success. I normally have a little bit of trouble when I'm putting on the solder paste. Like it bridges connections, and then you end up smudging things everywhere and having hidden shorts underneath. It just turns into kind of a mess. So what I'm going to do here is pre-tin the USB-C pads, and then when we hopefully put them on the hot plate here, it's going to make it just way easier for those to soak down and make a good solid connection. Anyways, let's tin up this iron. Oops. So what I'm actually going to do as well is just get a bit of flux, and we're going to put that on the board here, right in those spots. I wish I had a better sort of camera view for you guys, but if I zoom down too much, then you can't see too much of what's going on. Kind of gets a bit blurry. So I'll try and describe everything, and I'll show you. Let me turn off the scope cam for now, so it's just the overhead and me. All right, so I'll go ahead, tin this up again, get a nice blob on there. And then we'll run it along those pads. And just try and get a good nice solid connection. I have these magnifying glasses that I find really helpful because I don't have the best vision. Oh, I need a haircut too, that's what I really need. So let's go ahead, clear the skin. Probably more flux would help. When in doubt, the answer is almost always a little more flux. I'm just going to get a little bit of solder wick and try and clean up just that edge bit that I messed up, because I got some on the mounting pin. Okay. What are we thinking? That's probably good enough. I don't like good enough. I want it to be good. There we go. Got it all out. Now let me clean that up super quick, and I'll show you what we're working with. Let's clean it up just with a little bit of Q-tip here. Try and get these down under the dispenser. But yeah, I know I probably need to get a better, like, kind of angled in there camera view, but listen, it is what it is for now, okay? I'm doing my best. So then we take a little bit of isopropyl, and I'm gonna soak this to remove the flux that's on there. Okay. Whoa. Let me show you the result, what we're working with, and where we can go from there. Actually, perfect time to switch over to the scope, and I can show you under there. So this is what I was trying to do, was just add a little bit of solder to all the pins so that when I put the USB-C connector on top and I heat it up, it should seat down pretty well and then like make a good connection on each pad rather than relying on the solder paste to do it. But now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place a little bit of solder paste on each, where we go, place a little bit of solder paste on each of the pads and then go from there. But yeah, sweet. Okay, so now let's see if I can't zoom in on this for you guys. How far can we go? See what I mean? If I get too close, kind of blows out the quality there. So we're trying to find a good in-between. We'll rock with this. It just looks so bad. It's so hard to see anything. You can kind of get the gist. Anyways, let's add a little bit of solder paste. I'm gonna go definitely back to the wide angle later, but until then, let's push out just a little bit of that old solder paste onto a paper towel, get it nice and clean. Oops, put my finger in it. That's gonna be great to rub in my eye later. Awesome. So, just a couple drops on each pad, and we should be good. I'm gonna make sure I'm not obscuring the view here. It's actually super easy with this dispenser tip just to get the amount that you want, which is really nice, rather than using my hands like to push on the plunger like a maniac. Okay, this tool is so underrated. If you don't already have one, it's like a 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, sweet. So I think we got all of our pads soldered, or not soldered, but we got our solder paste on all the pads, which is good. Put it into its container, and I'll actually pause and run this back down and store it in my fridge, because that's where you keep your solder paste. All right, let me throw this under the microscope just so you guys can see it, and then I'm gonna start assembling some parts here. As you can see, I just put a little bit of solder paste on each one. This was done using that little applicator. Got a decent coverage on each one. There's our pre-tinned pads. And this little area right there is where I said we might have a short between them because there's a lot of paste. But so far so good. Let's take this off and put it back on the table to place some parts. So first up, I actually got all these parts from AliExpress, so it's why it's such a weird mismatch of parts, but we make do. So I'm going to start off with, and today I'm going to be using the Pixel Pump by Robin Tools to assemble this. Well, I know his last name isn't Tools, but that's the name of the site. So let me just go ahead and turn this around. It's basically just a little vacuum pump. So when you put it over a part, it makes a vacuum, and then you can easily use that to place the component. What do you think? I might go onto the overhead scope here. Should I try and assemble it under there, or is that going to be too small? I think that's going to be too small to see, like, do properly. So I'm just going to kind of go at it by hand. So the way I do this, oh, where's my tweezers? I just get my kind of sharp, pointy tweezers, and I use those to open up each of the packs. I should have one end of this one opened up already. I guess not. Where did I cut it? Yeah, we're going to 78L05. This should be, yeah, this is the one we're using. I guess I just snipped it. But anyways, let's go ahead and take the part out of the tape here. I just wiggle my tweezers back and forth until I get under there. and then kind of break the seal on there. Perfect. Dump out a part, and we're good to go. I don't know if you can see, that's it right there. Now I'll just twist this back up. Put it away. We'll just go ahead and pick out a bunch of the parts that we need, and then we can put this away. That's going to be the other LEDs. So for this, these are addressable LEDs. This is what's going to go in all four of those corners and give that little RGB look. So we're going to dump out 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, dump them out. Perfect. And then I'm going to coil this back up. Okay, put that right here. Next, we'll go to some of the main chips, I believe. Yeah, 78LO5, same part, we're good. So the main chip for this one is an ATtiny 412. And the way that I'm going to talk to it is over USB-C. So we got a CH340N here, which is like a USB to UART, or in my case, UDPI. So that's how I'm going to talk to it, and that's how I'm going to set this up. It's pretty simple, actually. Then that way when you plug it in, it instantly gets recognized as a board, and you can program to it. But I'll go ahead and separate this one. I'll put it up here in the parts thing so I don't confuse it for an ATtiny. As a matter of fact, I could probably start putting some parts on just to get them off the table here. That might not be a bad idea. Let me try out the scope and we'll see what that's like to put some parts on there. If it's kind of bad, I'll stop and just go back to what I was doing, but if it gives you guys a better view, maybe that's good. So let's see. Again, it might be hard to see under here. Let me spin this around the right way. So I'm gonna go under, and we'll start off with the voltage regulator. Okay, there we go. Finally got it picked up. Let's go back over to the scope cam. There's the voltage regulator. So I'm going to go ahead and just... Sweet, placed. Next, each of these LEDs, we're going to go ahead and should be able to put, I believe it's going to be down like that. There we go. Put that over, get it in the right orientation. Get this centered. Put that over, get it the right way around. Could be better. That's good. Okay, so let me just go ahead and check these all. Looks good, looks good. Sweet. All good on the addressable LEDs. Next, we're going to have the CH340. So which way? I'm just going to set this down, try and figure out where the dot is. Let's switch over to the full scope cam. Cut down a bigger angle on that so we can see there. Quickly learning it's not in focus. There we go. So the CH340 dot, which means it's going to be facing down. I have the files up on my computer, so that's where I'm checking. So let's bring this into view, and we're going to go Perfect. Yeah, it seems about perfect. Knock that into place a little bit. And I'm just using this tool, but you can use tweezers or whatever you please. So now that we have the addressable LEDs, we have the CH340N. Next, it's going to be the AT Tiny and plug, and then a bunch of those tiny components, which should be pretty easy to handle. But let me just dump these out, man. That was probably a mistake. Anyways, I'll start putting back all these parts, and then we can do it like that. So those go in. Here's our AT Tiny. And again, Robin actually came up with a good system for this, but I have yet to set them up for this one. I'm going to do it for the production run, but you feed the little tape reels in like this. Oh, I'll have to do it. You feed them in like this, and then you're able to like pull them out of the little tabs here. Again, it's hard to get that in there, but I'm going to set it up eventually, and then you can just pull them out and then pick one off at a time. But since I'm just assembling one board for this one, I figure it's fine. Anyways, let's move these parts over here just to get them out of the way, since we will need those resistors and stuff. Put that there. We already have our addressable LEDs. We'll pick just at random one of these USB-Cs, because why not? This one looks, let's go with a smoothish looking one. There, I like this one. Pick it out. Oh, it's already been opened. That's how you know I like it. Man of consistency. Go down here. I'll peel back the tape again. Dump out one of those connectors. Perfect. Put this back in its bag. And that should be it for all this stuff. So I'll go ahead and put this back in its bag. Again, I'm going to set this up properly for doing like a little production run, but just for assembling one off, it's not too bad. Then we're going to take out our AT Tiny here. There we go. Peel it back. Take out one, dump it. Good to go. Put that back in there. And we'll put this away. And I'm going to wait to assemble the USB-C, but we can put on the AT Tiny. I'm still trying to learn the like right angle to hold this thing at. Oh yeah, this is the one where I got the sizing wrong, but it still kind of works. But ooh-wee, we should make sure that's good. Just gonna knock it back and forth so it makes contact with the solder paste on each side. Oh, it's a mess. I don't know. I guess. It's that one's unfortunate. I really should have fixed the pads better, but we can always touch it up, you know? So that one is what it is. Next up, there's the addressable LEDs again. So we already have a 47 UF capacitor. Let me double check where that one goes. I believe it's this one here. Come on over. Oops, got this stuck. This is one I desoldered from another board. Okay, I might have to put that on with tweezers because I desoldered it from another board, so it has flux all over it, so it's super sticky. So I'm just gonna, oh look, it's even sticking to my tweezers. That's not great, but maybe I should just grab another one. But I'm lazy, so. Okay, that one's kind of on there. Let me just knock it around with the tweezers, make sure it's, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that'll pull on. It'll do it itself. So we're leaving it. We're leaving it. Next up, we're going to need two 5.1K resistors. We have here. Let me double check where they go. One on each side. So this is kind of the beauty of the pixel pump here that we're about to see. Is you have a tape. You peel it back, then you can just go pick up one. And then let me get it in there so you can see. Oh, I did it out of view. There we go. Now I'll go ahead and grab the other. Oh, that one fell out, so I'll just pick it up. Come over to the other side, and we'll place that right there. Perfect. Looks good to me. Next is a bunch of 100 nanofarad capacitors. Which, let me see, because then we also need like two 300. So let me see what we got here. And you know what? I do have a reel of capacitors that I should probably just use for this one. So I will. I'm just going to put this back in here for now. And then what I'm going to do is open this up. And inside, I have a collection of LCSC capacitors. Just need to find the right one. There we go. 500, 100 nanofarad capacitors. So how many do we need? Because that's how many I'm going to dump out. Let me go check. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 capacitors. 7 100 nanofarad capacitors to be precise. Okay, pull this back. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. And then just a YOLO. I'm just going to cut that. Well, I just dropped them everywhere. Let me see if I have them all accounted for. We have, because I probably dropped like one on my lap or something, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Missing one. It's not in my legs or anything. I'll just grab one more. Oh, there it is actually. Didn't drop out. Sweet. So I'll put that back in there. Now we have our 7 capacitors. Great, let's put those on. Same method as always. We're gonna go, yeah, I believe I know where everything is. So let's get it. Let me double check I know. Yeah, okay. I know where all of them are, so I got this. Should be pretty simple. Let me get my foot pedal back. Bring it over to down there. Oops, there. Nice. Then we're gonna go this one here. Then we're gonna go this one there. This one, oh, I'm out of view. Sorry, I've been placing them. There we go. We'll pick this one up. Yeah, it's kind of in there. Let's just make sure. That one's going to be a little messy when we solder it, but I think I put a resistor where I shouldn't have. Or a capacitor where I shouldn't have. Okay, I did. So right, which one of those was that? That one there. Yeah, this is the wrong one. Let me try and get that. Okay, so that's actually going to go here. Final pickup is going to go over there. Nope. It's going to go over here. Okay, because that was supposed to be a 4.7K resistor. Just gotta make sure it's not gonna short underneath, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and check that out and just quickly just scrape a little line between it. Go on, boys, get back to where you came from. Nah, it's a bit messy, but I'll allow it. Next up, I actually wasn't supposed to be done with all those resistors yet. Shake them out. Because next up we're going to need a 4.7K resistor. Because previously we had 5.1. Then next we're looking at 4.7. There we go. Peel it back so we can see that one. Pick it up out of there. Then next we'll put that right there. Nice, and hopefully all that solder paste pulls together nicely to make that connection good. Next we're going to need about 330, perfect. There's already a 4. Yeah, let's just use this. 470. Take 2 of those out, and this is going to be our last component minus the USB-C. So this one is going to go up there. Oops, I dumped that out. There we go. And the actual final thing is going to be a LED. So for this one, you can pick any color LED we want. I've normally been going with red, so I think I'm going to keep that up and do that again here. I'll peel this back. Pop out one of those red LEDs. Perfect. Then after this, we're good to start soldering. Okay, so let me show you guys the way to identify an LED from the top. Well, they have markings on the bottom, but a good way to identify them on the top is the side with the green is the negative. And if you flip them over, you can see, let me get it into view, the side with that little indent is the negative. So if, I'll try and flip it over so it stays in view. I don't know if you saw it, but it should still be this same green side is the negative side. The cathode, as the people like to say. Let me double check which way this is supposed to be facing, just in my code. Okay, so cathode should be facing away, or towards the thing or whatever. So let's get this. Pick it up, just drop it a few times to get it the right way. Turn it around a little bit. Now we're going to bring this into view. There. I'm going to tap that just with some tweezers. Amazing. Okay, so as you can see, we have all the components down on the board now. Some of them are a little sketchier than others, like this AT Tiny might be a little rough to to connect there. But next up, I'll put on this USB-C and we'll see how that goes. Then actually we should be good to throw it on the hot plate, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Let's see if this is okay. It's impressive. Now, there we go. Looks lined up to me. Let's get a little closer zoom. Yeah, looks good to me. Okay, so now that that is placed on there, we should be good to throw it on the hot plate, which I'm going to let this heat up for a second here. But then once I put it on there, I'm just going to add a little bit of flux to the USB-C connector and then push it down as it's heating up on the plate. And we should be good, and then we'll test it out and see how it goes. All right, we're now up to temp. I'm going to put it on there, and then I'm going to try and grab the camera and film it a little closer up for you guys so you can see, but it might be hard. I'm not sure what would be best. Honestly, I think just so I can do it clearly, I might just put it on there and try not to mess this up. But let me go ahead and show you. I added some flux to the thing. I don't think you can see it very well, but I did. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw this on now, and we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the fume extractor too. Actually, I am gonna just do this because I need it to work, so. Yeah, I mean, you guys, sorry. That's the best I can give you for now. I'm pushing down on the USB-C connector to try and get it seated the best I can. Pretty much all the pads have melted now, but we're going to give it another second. Or actually they haven't. Okay, we got quite a few shorts, but I think that worked. Like I said, all right. We'll just fume that off there for a second, but I think we got a good result. Like I said, quite a few shorts, unfortunately, but let's go ahead and check that out under the microscope. So there you can see short, even down here, short. Yeah, that looks. That's a bit of a mess. I think that's just my old paste, but we're gonna have to go through and clean up all those shorts with an iron. Is that unmelted right there? Yeah, 100%. Get back on there. We're gonna go ahead and turn this up a little bit then. $220. Sorry, let me switch back to the overhead. I got it on here. All right, I think that might be the best we're getting. Oh. Oh, no. Oh my God. I basically have to start over. Oh, that was the worst thing that could have happened. These parts are soldered together now. Oh, this is bad. That was not supposed to go like that. I've actually never had an assembly go so wrong. That's nuts. Oh, that's nuts, dude. Okay. Back on the hot plate. Okay, so it took me a little bit, but I finally got everything placed back in relatively the right positions. It's not great. Look, that's a resistor flipped upside down and stuck to the light. I'm still gonna try and make it work. I'm trying to be very careful. Place these components, and then we're gonna throw it back on the hot plate and go for round 2. Okay, so what I have to do when it's on the hot plate is turn this capacitor around, take this resistor off of there, and press the USB-C down to make sure it's stuck, while also not losing any other components. Let's get it. Okay, I'll push that on a little further. It's work time, it's work time. So that's going to heat up, and I'm waiting for all the parts to pull into where they should be. No, no, get off my tweezers. Oh, I'm throwing it. I lost it. Okay, now I have to grab this off of there. Oh, try not to burn myself. Turn it around and stick it right there. Perfect. Then we should be good here. Just soaking things in flux. Okay, I'm gonna push down on the USB-C one more time. And let's hope everything's on there. Next, I'm going to double tweezer this. Hold it by the fume extractor, let everything solidify. There's a really fat chance this board doesn't work, and I might just have to assemble another one, mostly just because of that mistake. Let me just clean it up quick, and then I'll throw it under the microscope and we can check this thing out. So I'm going to grab a couple nano sponges. More than a couple, to say the least. I'll even try it. Whoa! I'll even try a Kim wipe. I've heard about these. Ooh, and at this point too, might as well use our little scrub brush. I've never used that. So I'm going to go ahead and basically just soak up the board with isopropyl alcohol right now. Then go over it with this scrub brush, and then go ahead and just soak it up again. I know this is far from the ideal cleaning method, but something to get just the bulk of the flux off. Next, I'll go ahead and soak some of these sponges. Come on, we'll clean this up. Get you tidied up a little bit. Yes, we soaked up this sponge. I'll do a little more. There we go. And then just give it a good scrub. I don't know. So, check it out. Mind all the lint, but everything is a little bit soldered up there. It's a bit of a mess still. I'm going to go in and touch up those Don't tell me that's a short. What is that, just flux? This is what cleaning kills me, man. There's just always more to clean. Okay, so next I'm just going to go in and touch up those two pads. Oh no, do I have a short there? No. Oh no, in the middle I do. Alright, I need to get some tweezers in there and see what's going on. Okay, looks like it's just flux. I'd still like to clean that out. Let's get back to, there we go. Try and clean that out. Alright. So, let's go ahead and touch that up, and then we'll see where we're at. Burning through cleaning supplies. Okay. I'll just do it by hand, honestly, because it's not by hand, but okay. It should be. Everything except for that one pin looks good, so I think we'll be alright here. Maybe I'll do a little under the scope soldering for you guys, see how that works. Almost. Good. Okay. Go to this pin. Made a bit of a mess, but whatever. Good enough. Yeah, I think everything's good. Let's just check this out. Alright, man. I think we're good to try this out. We're gonna test it out now and see how it does. Want to see how it performs here. The light should turn on. Boom! We might be in business. Sweet. Okay, like I said, I'm going to just clean this up and then we'll do the little test. Alright, so I'm back and I have good news and bad news. The good news is my computer recognizes it, which means this chip, the CH... Wait a second. Oh. Whew. Yeah, so the good news is that this chip, the CH340, is being recognized by the computer, but the bad news is that when I go to upload code to it, it's not. So something's going on in here, and we have to figure out what now. So obviously, first thing we're going to the trusty multimeter. This will tell you a lot, and hopefully we can diagnose this thing without having to do too much work here, because I don't think it's a problem with my design, but might be. Anyway, so let's throw on the scope camera here and just get to, let me back it up out of there so we can see a little more. There we go. So what we're going to look for is just continuity. We want to see continuity between these two pins. Good. And between these two pins. Good. And not between these two. Good. Okay, so that means that that is working. And then that's a 4.7. So I made this mistake last time. The problem is that this resistor, I'm glad I realized this now, this resistor, the 4.7, is too high to, basically the way that this talks is it has a RX and a TX signal, and you combine those two so they talk on one line, but the problem is one line might be high while the other's low, and you need it to pull it down rather than letting it go. So I had this problem on the first version where when I was, you'd go to upload code, it's supposed to pull all the way down to 0, but instead it only pulls to like 1 volt, so it doesn't recognize it as a signal change. And because of that, you can't upload code to it. So that's actually good news, because this is a super simple mistake just on my part, and it's something I actually diagnosed before. So now we're going to turn on the hot air station and fix that. So I'll just turn off my multimeter here, put that back in my drawer, and I'm going to need to go and find a 1K resistor, but I should have that here in my little bin. I know you were in here somewhere. But yeah, we're just looking for about 1K. Not 1K, that's 1K. This will fix the problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel that back, dump that out, and we should be good to go. So let's put this back. I'll turn on the hot air station. And we're gonna get this soldered up, lickety split in no time. Bring this down here. Bring the board over now. Turn this off. And let's get this thing soldered. I'll grab my goggles again, just so I can see. Ceramic tweezers. So what we're going to do is just pick up the other resistor that's on there, and we'll replace it with the 1K. Shouldn't be too hard at all. You just put it on there for a little bit until you see it go molten, then you pick it off and put the other one right back on. Not a problem, took it off. Now I keep it molten and just drop the replacement on there. Push it into the right spot. Seems to have made a connection. Now we'll let that cool. Turn the hot air off. Now, I should be able to... It's going to be a bit hot. I'm going to let it cool down. Then I'm going to plug it into my computer and try and upload some code to it. And if it works, I'll be back here with a board that's flashing all different kinds of colors. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Check this out. Are you ready? Boom! Right on the back side. Oh, there. Right on the back side. It's got 4 addressable LEDs on the back. It's a little harder to see there, but we have the power indicator LED here, and I have them all set to pink and red on the back there. Very nice. Anyways, sweet. Let me show you this under the microscope now. We got everything soldered up and kind of cleaned up. The last thing was one of these like LEDs wasn't showing right, so I just had to touch it up a little. But perfect. So awesome, man. We got it working. Yeah, that's pretty much all we're here to do. So now that I have this one working and I know that the design is good, I have a stack of 40 of them. So this is definitely going to be for another video or maybe a live stream, but this was my process of bringing up my my V2 of a board I designed, and kind of going through all the struggles. I dropped it off the hot plate. I put the wrong resistor on, all those kind of things. But in the end, I fixed all the problems I had with the original design. Let me go grab that now. I fixed all the problems I had with the original design, which you can see we had like wires going over here, a capacitor to program it, and now it can be plugged in directly and programmed right off the bat. Let me unplug my phone here and I can plug it in for you up here. You can get a better look at it. So this is it. Sweet. 4 addressable LEDs right on the bottom. You can change those to any color in the rainbow. Let me turn this off, sorry. You can change those to any color in the rainbow. And this is my crazy little background here. Looks like this one might be, oh, whoa, came out of my hand. Unless this changes right now, then it might be a problem with, just might need to solder it up a little more, because it was, no, should be fine. We'll see what happens, but I might just need to touch up another connection to make sure everything's on there, and that's probably a problem from when I dropped it, but sweet, man, we did it. We got this board soldered up, and first launch is perfect. So these might be sold out probably by the time you see this, or maybe not, but I do plan to sell them. So yeah, if you want, keep an eye out. I'm gonna be posting about it at some point. Go follow me on X, subscribe. Anyways, man, just thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this process and just the real, like, raw nature of it. This is what it's like. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be things you have to fix. You might drop it off the hot plate and just make a mess of everything. But just keep going. You'll get it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe.